As Victoria Newman gets ready to defy her father, Jack Abbott will issue a warning to Victor Newman, who could end up being the heartbreaker, according to the Young and the Restless recap for Monday, March 31st. After her first session of therapy, Amy Lewis will be weak at Nate Hastings' house, but she will be happy to hear Nate and Damian Kane joking about basketball. Additionally, Amy will be relieved that her doctor has predicted that she will have more time. Lily Winters will arrive seeking answers from Damian after Nate has taken Amy upstairs for a nap. Lily will insist that Aristotle sent him information on her and Devon Winters 3 months ago, when she demands to know what Damian and Aristotle Dumas are actually up to. Lily will question whether Damian was aware that Amy was ill before Nate ever contacted him, and that Nate was his half-brother. Lily's ongoing probe will irritate Damian, who will claim this is a miscommunication. After a while, Nate will come back and ask why everyone is so upset, so he will ask about Lily's charges. Damian, meanwhile, would contend that he only remembered reading about Devon and Lily in a business magazine after the commotion surrounding the transaction. After receiving a job offer from Nate, Damian spoke with Aristotle and gained additional business knowledge. Damian will deny knowing anything about Amy's illness, Nate's status as a half-brother, or his biological father. Damian will imply that someone is feeding her lies, but Lily will have greater faith in her source. Before the brothers begin arguing, Nate will acknowledge that he still has doubts about Damian after Lily stomps off. When Amy hears the noise, she will come downstairs and insist on knowing the truth. Claire Newman will confide in Victoria at Society about her worries about Victor opposing her relationship with Kyle Abbott. Claire would still like to persuade Victor to join her, even though she won't be prepared to end their relationship in order to keep Kyle safe. Although Victoria will admit that Victor is unyielding, she will provide some hope because Victor changed his mind about her personal relationship with Cole Howard. In order to convince Victor that she is happy with Kyle, Claire will feel as though she needs to find a method to win his heart. Victoria will tell her daughter to concentrate on living in her own little world, even if Claire will also express some annoyance about Summer Newman. Additionally, Victoria intends to take all necessary precautions to safeguard Claire and Kyle's connection. Kyle will discuss Victor's displeasure and the potential for him to wear Claire down with Jack at the GCAC. Additionally, Summer and whether Victor could use her to make trouble will be discussed. Jack will, however, give his son some motivation before Kyle runs into Claire at Crimson Lights. As she enjoys a tender moment with Kyle, Claire will make it apparent that they are in control of their own romantic life. When he returns with Jack, he will run into Victoria and ask her to notify Victor. Jack will insist Victor answer to him if his opponent dares to hurt Claire and Kyle in any way. On Monday's YNR episode, Victoria will remark to herself, "And to me," as Jack leaves. Aristotle Dumas' name appears to be on everyone's lips right now in the most recent Young and the Restless promo. Additionally, Lauren asks Nikki a startling question, and Sally has had enough. Victor told Michael that he had previously fought Dumas. Dumas' strategy is to enter, strike hard, and then leave. This time, Victor wants to know what he's doing. Later, the mustache told Lily that Damian was a front for Dumas, who was probably assigned to infiltrate the Winters for their company, and that he had nothing. Next week, Lily confronts Damian because she has had enough of his games and wants to know what he and his employer, Aristotle Dumas, are actually up to. Billy is the only one who understands Dumas' strategy and has been discreetly assisting him in regaining Chancellor from Victor and Nikki. He told Sally and Phyllis the majority of this, and both women thought Billy was playing with fire. Sally appears to dislike Billy's contact with his ex as well, as she and Sharon's ordeal of kidnapping has left her with severe PTSD. Next, Chloe says to Sally, "Perhaps you should learn from your own cunning strategy and remove Phyllis from Billy's sphere of influence permanently." In fact, if Sally follows her friend's suggestion, that could backfire. At last, Lauren informs Nikki, "I invited you to meet me because of Victor. I need you to turn on your husband, Nikki." Is this also about the enigmatic Aristotle Dumas? And what does she want Nikki to do? Billy busted, Tracy's danger, and Newman's surprise. Here are the spoilers for Friday, March 28, 2025's episode of The Young and the Restless. Fans can anticipate that Victor Newman will surprise his family in tomorrow's episode. Jack Abbott is concerned for Tracy Abbott's security. Billy Abbott's bluff is also called by Sally Spectra. Let's discuss the upcoming events in the CBS soap opera. As you continue reading, Billy Abbott was exposed. Fans can anticipate Sally calling Billy out on Friday, March 28th. Sally asked Billy why Aristotle Dumas had blown up his phone. Billy made up the story that he was just endorsing Abbott Communications. But later, Billy gave Dumas a call again and brought up a deal. Even if Sally doesn't hear what Billy is saying, she might sense that he's keeping something from her. Billy's disclosure of the secret to Phyllis Summers may lead Sally to believe that something else is happening. Adam Newman lied to Sally and betrayed her horribly. Sally wanted no secrets once they started dating. This is particularly relevant in light of Billy's past cunning. Billy wants Chancellor back, but will it be worth the cost? Although the specifics are unclear, we do know that Billy and Dumas have some sort of agreement. Billy claimed to have fulfilled his end of the agreement, but I worry that he will come to regret this covert collaboration. The announcement of Victor Newman. Victor surprises his family with the news while they are at the Newmans. Nikki Newman may even be taken aback, because it appears that the entire family will be caught off guard. Jack Abbott's fear. According to tomorrow's spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Jack will worry about Tracy's safety. He must concur that there is something seriously wrong with everything after hearing Tracy's account. Naturally, Tracy is terrified that Alan Laurent may not be who she believes him to be. Tracy fears that Alan might be Martin Laurent after all. Fans are aware that Tracy Abbott is a writer, so they know she makes a lot of connections. Tracy might therefore feel dissatisfied with simply waiting to see what occurs. Until she has evidence, Tracy is likewise unwilling to take the chance of confronting Alan. Of course, sometimes reasoning completely fails when it comes to matters of the heart. Tracy may therefore take a plane to Paris in order to face Alan. Another possibility is that Martin has been waiting and observing from Genoa City the entire time. Keep an eye out since Tracy might be in danger. According to Wednesday, March 19th spoilers for The Young and the Restless, villainous Martin Laurent has been posing as his nice twin, Alan Laurent. How will Tracy Abbott react when Martin's gig is set to be up for grabs? Will Sharon Newman, a repeated kidnap victim, obtain the truth? She wants the truth, the entire truth, and only the truth. Here's what YNR fans can anticipate. Tracy picked the wrong tree to climb. Martin wants to escape the heat by taking Tracy to Paris. He informed her that it was so they could look at wedding venues, and Tracy then sought advice from Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott. We think Tracy will reveal a little of Alan's odd conduct. And to be honest, we're not sure how she was duped for so long. Jack and Diane, who believe Martin is a live doll, were present when he sort of proposed to Tracy. They have no reason to be alarmed, so don't expect them to be. Rather, we anticipate that Diane and Jack will urge Tracy to go out and enjoy herself with Alan. Martin has been posing as someone else. Martin was the one who abducted Sharon and Phyllis Summers, as Alan fans well aware. His stunt with the women and their confinement in Havenhurst demonstrates that he is one egg short of a dozen. If Tracy is alone with Alan and away from home, is she in danger? She might have some unexpected saviors, but it looks likely. Chick leaves for Europe. This is because Sharon wants to travel to Europe with her former and baby daddy Nick Newman. The plan is for her to visit Noah Newman with Faith Newman. The request encourages the couple to discuss their future at Crimson Lights. Brave Sharon asks Nick if he feels the same way, acknowledging that she questions whether they have a future together. Sharon pushes Nick to be honest without putting any pressure on him. What do you think Nick will say to Sharon about his thoughts, YNR fans? Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman get cozy. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson's relationship takes a fiery turn in the meanwhile. What do you think, and are you in favor of a Chatham reunion? We predict that these two will go further and end up back in bed together. Jack sends Victor a warning. Victoria stands against Dad. The tension between Jack Abbott and Victor Newman had been simmering for years, but this time, it had reached a boiling point. Jack, ever the determined businessman, had come across information that made his blood run cold. He had to warn Victor, but knowing the man's stubborn nature, he doubted the message would be received well. At the same time, Victoria Newman found herself caught in the middle, forced to make a choice that would define her future. Jack's discovery and the warning. Jack sat in his office at Jabot, staring at the confidential documents spread before him. A trusted informant had leaked information about a corporate attack against Newman Enterprises, one that could bring down Victor's empire. Jack had his fair share of grudges against Victor, but this went beyond their personal war. If Newman Enterprises collapsed, the entire industry would feel the ripple effects, including Jabot. Jack knew he had to act. After a moment of deliberation, Jack picked up his phone and dialed Victor's number. It rang twice before the powerful baritone of Victor Newman answered. "Jack," Victor said coolly. "To what do I owe the pleasure?" Jack exhaled sharply. "Listen, Victor, this isn't about our rivalry. I came across something that affects you, your company, and your family. We need to talk." Victor scoffed. "What kind of game are you playing, Jack? I don't take kindly to threats or tricks." Jack leaned forward, gripping the edge of his desk. "Damn it, Victor, I'm trying to help you. There's a coordinated effort to dismantle Newman Enterprises from the inside. A hostile takeover. I have documents proving it." There was a beat of silence before Victor responded, his voice colder. "And why should I trust you? You'd love nothing more than to see my company burn." Jack shook his head. "You may be my greatest adversary, but I don't want to destroy you like this. I don't kick a man when he's down. If you don't believe me, then check for yourself. But do it quickly. Time isn't on your side." Victor remained silent for a moment before finally saying, "Send me what you have. I'll take care of it." Jack knew that was the closest thing to trust he would ever get from Victor Newman. Victoria's dilemma. While Jack and Victor clashed over the warning, Victoria Newman found herself facing a battle of her own. For years, she had stood by her father's side, learning from him, absorbing his ruthless business acumen. But now, as new revelations surfaced, she felt the weight of a choice pressing down on her. She had discovered that her father was planning a counteroffensive against an unknown adversary, and in doing so, he was making risky business decisions that could threaten the company. His determination to win at all costs was pushing Newman Enterprises toward a precarious ledge. Victoria was no stranger to her father's tactics, but this time, she wasn't sure if she could stand by and watch him gamble everything. Walking into Victor's office, she took a deep breath. "Dad, we need to talk." Victor looked up from his desk, his intense gaze scrutinizing her. "If this is about Jack, I already know. He sent me some documents." Victoria folded her arms. "And, what are you going to do about it?" Victor's lips curled into a smirk. "Handle it as I always do. Don't concern yourself." She clenched her fists. "That's not good enough, Dad. I saw some of the moves you're planning. They're reckless. You're risking everything on a power play that could backfire. If we lose this fight, Newman Enterprises won't recover." Victor's expression darkened. "You doubt me?" Victoria sighed. "I doubt your ability to see beyond the battle in front of you. You want to win, but at what cost? The company, the employees, our legacy?" Victor leaned back in his chair, studying her with narrowed eyes. "You think you know better than me?" She met his gaze unwavering. "I think it's time I start making decisions that protect this company. If you won't listen, then I will act on my own." The showdown. The battle lines were drawn. Jack had given Victor a warning, and Victoria had issued one of her own. Now, it was up to Victor to decide whether he would continue down his chosen path, or acknowledge the truth in the words of his greatest rival and his own daughter. As the days passed, Victor began to see the threats more clearly. The documents Jack had sent were legitimate. A coordinated attack was indeed in motion. His gut reaction was to strike back twice as hard, but Victoria's words echoed in his mind. She wasn't wrong. His aggressive tactics could put everything at risk. One evening, as Victoria sat in her office, the door opened and Victor stepped inside. He shut the door behind him and looked at her for a long moment before speaking. "All right, Victoria. Let's talk strategy." A flicker of relief crossed her face, but she knew better than to show it. This wasn't just about one decision, it was about proving she was ready to take the reins. Together, they began to draft a plan that would protect Newman Enterprises without taking reckless risks.